So there's this guy named Tatsuki Fujimoto. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a bit of a smaller mangaka. He made this manga. I'm sure you've never heard of it. It's called Chainsaw Man. This guy is a literal demon. Not only has he written a multitude of best-selling manga, but he's also starred in one of my favorite YouTube videos simply titled Chainsaw Man Author Tries to Levitate. This man made a whole ass YouTube video trying to levitate. I think it's quite common knowledge at this point that Tatsuki Fujimoto is clearly on something. But we're not talking about Tatsuki Fujimoto in this video. The honor of this video goes to Tatsuki Fujimoto's assistant. Now, I don't know what Fujimoto had Yukinobu Tatsu doing in the background, but I'd like to imagine it went something a little like this. Hey Yukinobu, can you bring me that bag that's on the counter?
Of course.
Yuki, my boy, you want to know how to get great ideas for making manga?
That would be awesome. How do I do it?
Just do this.
What's that?
Here, I'll show you. And boy did Tatsu get a good idea. On April 26th, 2021, Tatsu dropped Dandadan, a supernatural thriller slash rom-com slash action manga that is certainly out of this world. It's got ghosts, it's got aliens, and even better, it's got kissing, ooh. And it's got a story that certainly couldn't be written in a sober state of mind, which you will see in a minute as to why I think this way. Dandadan is a manga about two characters who are named Okarun, whose real name is Ken Takakura, and Momo Ayase, who named him Okarun because he doesn't nearly compare to the Ken Takakura that she loves so dearly. So these two start bickering because one believes that aliens exist and one believes that ghosts exist, so they set out to prove each other wrong. Okarun goes to this tunnel to prove Momo wrong that ghosts aren't real, and Momo goes to this hospital to prove to Okarun that aliens aren't real. While Okarun finds himself wrong by getting by a grandma who can run at turbo speed, Momo also seems to find herself wrong. She finds these three aliens called the Serpo who are trying to steal reproductive organs so that way they can repopulate their race because they're only men and they've lost the ability to reproduce. And so they, instead of cloning, they just want to bring back the old sacred ritual back. So they kidnap Momo in their UAP because heaven forbid it's not a UFO. So they strap Momo to this table, and right before they begin probing, boom! Okarun, who is now fused with the grandma he just got assaulted by, blasts through the side of the UAP and bites the closest alien to him. He bites that alien's schwanz off. And what is Momo doing while Okarun is fighting these aliens off? She uses her newfound psychic powers to blast out of the straps that she's in. They beat the aliens that they had just been fighting and then jumped out of the UAP. And then the first chapter ends. Do you see what I mean when I say this guy is on something? And is that the end of this? No, because when they get back to the house, Okarun can't even go in because he's possessed by the Turbo Granny. He can't pass the spiritual barrier that Momo's grandma put in place to prevent evil spirits from entering their house. So to counteract this problem, Momo takes off the spiritual barrier, and not 10 minutes go by before an evil spirit shows up and they gotta fight it, and it's just this like giant wooden sumo wrestler, and like everything gets dark. It's absolutely insane. It's absurd. So after they fight this giant sumo wrestler, Okarun decides that he needs to go to the bathroom. I mean, nature calls, right? But I want you to just guess for a second. I want you to take a wild guess. I'm gonna put up some options here on the screen. I want you to guess what happens while he's taking a piss. If you guessed anything other than Okarun's twig and berries being gone, you'd be dead wrong. So now they have to go and challenge this ghost grandma to a game of tag so that he can get his family jewels back. And that doesn't even scratch the surface as to what these guys have to do just to be able to get Okarun his schwanz back. And even when they do get his schwanz back, the grandma lost his balls. So now they have to go search for those as well. Yeah, we got a continuity error. You know your boy's wearing the sweatpants now. I think that the most insane thing about this entire thing is I've barely even spoiled it yet. These are just the first like 3 chapters of the manga. It's absolute insanity. I haven't even gotten to some of the other things these guys have to fight. Like there's an alien who sings ABBA. The alien is singing ABBA. You know, like the band that sings "Sometimes when I'm lonely, I sit and think about him." Yeah, those guys. And you know what else these guys have to fight? Nessie himself. You know, the dinosaur that can shoot lasers out of his mouth. But I think my favorite part of this entire thing is all of the events come together to tell a truly captivating story. Tatsu does an incredible job at the pacing of the manga, because I mess you not, I went home after buying the first volume, read it, and then I went to work early the next day so that I could stop at Barnes & Noble on my way to work and then buy the next 2 volumes just so I could see what happens next. Even the character building moments that are in between fights are told in a clean and smooth transition that really keeps the story going. The times between Okarun and Momo and even the side characters are incredibly funny. They had me laughing a multitude of times, like laugh out loud while I'm reading this manga funny. Like there was a chapter where Momo and Okarun were looking for each other, and Tatsu, that sly dog, I see what you did there, made their heads butt together so like they kissed. It was freaking awesome. I see you, Tatsu. I'm a bit of a shoujo connoisseur myself. Anyway, of course there were side characters who ended up seeing this happen, and the way that they tackle this problem is just too funny to explain. And the romance is fire. There's some moments in the manga where it is clearly shown that there are some feelings between Momo and Okarun. Some of my favorite moments include the previously mentioned headbutt, or that time Okarun gets jealous of Momo's childhood best friend, or even better, when both of them stood up for each other when others were talking bad about them. I don't know what it is with me and romance, but it's an addiction in it of itself, and Dandadan gives me the fix that I need to continue on with my day. I also find it incredibly convenient that the US government just casually dropped the fact that they're reverse engineering UAPs in real life currently. So I mean, that also adds to this story a little bit, I guess. I don't know, it kind of fits in. I just thought it would be kind of funny to add that into the video. There's a lot more I could say about this manga, but frankly, a guy gushing over it on YouTube isn't gonna do it justice. Although, someday I hope I will be able to. Anyway, I highly recommend this manga. It's not too far in right now, so there's not a ton to read. But overall, it's really good and it's really funny, and I 100% think that you should give it some of your time, because I enjoyed my time with it, and that's why I'm talking about it, because I want other people to read it, and I want to talk to them about it, because that's how it goes. Anyway, I will see you guys in like 3 months when I decide to post again, because I'm really bad at scheduling, and I decided to script this time. I don't know if it was very evident in the video, but I scripted it. You guys have a good one. Super happy you watched my video. If you liked, subscribe. That'd be freaking awesome. Anyway, you guys have a good rest of your day. One take wonder. Let's freaking go.
That was like 12 words.
They beat the aliens. I shouldn't say beat the aliens off. Perfect. Jeez, that's what I'm freaking talking about. Sometimes when I'm lonely, I sit and think about him, and it hurts to remember all the good times that I thought I could never live without him.
What?
That's legit, dude. That's a real thing. She steals his balls.
What is this called again?
Dandadan, dude. read it. It's so funny. Penis.